Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome along to United Kingdom Talk here on United Kingdom Radio. I've seen a wonderful job, or at least I thought it was a job, advertised in my local Bracknell News. I thought it was a job at first. Anyway, it says on here, oh, you'll love this. Those of you who are near Bracknell may want to apply for this job. It says, wanted, fairies and elves. Oh yes, boys and girls, even if you are not one yet, we could always do with a few more fairies. Let's be honest, there's not enough. There's not enough fairies and elves in this world. It says here, the fairy experience is looking for special fairies and elves to visit the land of make-believe and help raise funds for children's cancers. I love it. We love it. I'm liking the look of this. But then, rather disappointingly, that's what hit me. You know how it is, the headline of the newspaper hits you, doesn't it? And that's the only bit I saw. All I saw was wanted fairies and stuff. And then I kind of read across. I didn't carry on reading that column. And on the other side it says, the fairy experience is coming to town to find Reading isn't like Bracknell. It's like the poorer part of Bracknell, do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure where you live it's all very nice. But, you know, but there probably is an area sort of near you that you don't think is as nice as where you are, you know? Well, Reading's like that to me. Reading isn't like Bracknell. Anyway, it says, the fairy experience is coming to town to find Reading's special fairy or elf for 2010. I thought, oh my God, this is me. This is me. I thought, it's my time, it's my time. It carries on to celebrate the 5th anniversary of Studio Rouge in Lower Early, run by national multi-award-winning photographer Keith Thompson. I mean, who's he, dear? Do you know who that is? Honestly, these people build themselves up, dear, don't they? And you don't know who they are. Who is Keith Thompson? As a multi-award winner, I mean, I could sit here and say, welcome to this global television, radio, sensational production, award-winning, but it'd all be a lie. It would all be a lie. It's me, sitting in a spare room in my house, chatting away. That's all it is. I know some of you think I'm speaking from a large glass tower in the centre of London, overlooking Tower Bridge and the River Thames. But it's not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to take away the illusion, to tell you that actually this is a spare room in my house. I mean, it's not a bad spare room. It's actually a lot smaller than you would imagine, although it's probably not as small as your bin cupboard. Okay, I've got a little bit more. Anyway, back to the advertisement. They are transforming, Keith Thompson and his family are transforming their studio into fairyland. Oh, God. Have you got any fairy music? Just a minute. I might have some fairy music. Just a minute now. Where is it? Isn't there a fairy... Is there a fairy music? Let me see. Have I got some sort of noise or fairy? Oh yes, of course we have. Let's do that bit again. Okay. Just a minute. They are transforming their studio into fairyland. Oh yes. The unique fairy experience concept has been running for 9 very successful years. Mainly studio-based, but due to demands, there now travels to various cities and towns, giving children, and this is what I thought, oh, and I immediately felt disappointed, giving children this special opportunity. And I thought, oh. And it carries on. Of course, parents cannot resist. These timeless portraits and special packs are offered if they wish to purchase. And then I thought, this doesn't look like a job for a fairy or an elf. It looks like something for children. And I went back to the original part of the advert and it says, prizes worth £500 for the winning fairy or elf. I got that bit. I thought, well, yes, I could win this. And then it says at the bottom, in much smaller letters, ages 0 to 12. Oh, how disappointed I was. Disappointed. There I was, thinking I was going to have a wonderful Christmas as a fairy or an elf. Only to be thwarted. Thwarted, boys and girls. Thwarted at the last moment. By finding out that actually this is an event for little children. Why can't we have events like this for adults? So much better than watching boring football or something like that on the telly, or going to those nasty nightclubs, dear. I mean, I want to go to an elf and fairy do. Why haven't they got this sort of thing for adults? Eh? Come on, lads, we don't want to grow up, do we? Why do you want to grow up? You don't want to go out there in that nasty old world. Take your years down a little bit. Become a child again. Oh, yes, we love it. Well, good morning, boys and girls. Have I said hello yet? It's Chris Reardon with you. This is United Kingdom Talk on United Kingdom Radio. If you're watching the show live, you will know it's around about 11 minutes past 11 on the Tuesday the 2nd. Is it the 2nd? Tuesday the 2nd of November 2010. If that's the time where you are now, UK time, then you are with us live. How do you know what the time is in the UK? Well, we have a brand new UK time clock on the website. UnitedKingdomRadio.co.uk. Go there and you will see it appear as if by... Oh, just a minute. Where's that thing again? And you will see and hear... Sorry, you will see on the website, UnitedKingdomRadio.co.uk, on the right-hand side, halfway down the page, will appear, as if by magic, a little clock, a GMT clock, which is the time in the UK. That clock on that website will always tell you the time in the UK. So no longer do you have to worry about missing any of your favourite shows here on United Kingdom Radio. The clock is there for all to see. Check the schedule, check the clock, and you'll know where you are. Okay? Some messages coming in already this morning. It's very, very... I'm flying along today, like one of the fairies, as mentioned. David and Kat are with us on the Isle of Wight. Where have you been? We thought you were dead. We wondered, we haven't been here for weeks and weeks. We thought the Isle of Wight had sunk. Well, actually, no, we knew that because we have a new person on the Isle of Wight, Simon and his family. There's the son, Callum, and the little girl as well, whose name eludes me for the moment. It's very bad of me. Little girl, all on the Isle of Wight, and David and Kat are there as well. And David and Kat are saying, what are you going to reply? Well, David and Kat, well, apparently, Kat has bought some new knickers. I know, it may not be something that you think of as interest to other people, but when I tell you that she has the Union Jack on them as well, because she supports us here at United Kingdom Radio. Thank you, Kat, for wearing your Union Jack. I hope you've got your Union Jack knickers on every time you are watching this programme. Do try and wash them in between, dear. You know, don't put them on for an hour and then put them back in the cupboard for the next show. Do try and wash them occasionally. There's nothing worse. My mum always told me to have a clean pair of pants on when I go out. The trouble is I don't wear any. I don't wear pants or boxer shorts. Absolutely not. Well, why bother? I mean, it's just something else to wash, isn't it? And don't you find, there must be one or two other people that don't wear underwear. Don't you find when you don't wear underwear, there's less to wash? You know, you don't have to wash your jeans every day. I mean, I can wear my jeans for 6, 7, 8 weeks sometimes, and still they seem fine. I notice people don't come near me sometimes when we get to that point, but I don't think that's the jeans, do you? Oh, you can wear them for weeks. My washing machine only goes on twice a year. I can't afford to turn it on, to be honest. It's so expensive. So expensive. So there we are, David and Kat on the Isle of Wight. I'm so pleased. I'm very, very pleased that you have purchased some Union Jack knickers. I hope you've got something else on. It's a bit cold in this weather, isn't it? To sit there in just a pair of knickers. Can you get a Union Jack bra as well? Eh? And some of the overweight presenters here on United Kingdom Radio, some of the blokes would need a bra. They've got, are they called moobs? Man boobs. I reckon Lee Mills has got those, man boobs. He's on after me at 12 o'clock on the watch only button. Okay, Lee Mills at 12 o'clock. He got ever so upset on the last show because I forgot to mention he was on. I was screaming and shouting, he was. I just put the phone down. Talk to the hand, the face is not listening, you know. David and Kat reckon I am a big kid at heart. You're too right, Emma. I have an electric train set, you know. It comes out sort of once a year. Just once a year. My electric train set. And it gets set up in the living room. And it does a few revolutions for about 20 minutes. And then I put it all away again. When I was a little boy, I always thought when I get a house, I'm going to make sure I have a spare room and set up my electric train. And I have got 2 spare rooms here. Does anyone want to move in? I've got a spare room. Who wants to move in? I'm sure we can come to some agreement on the rent. It won't be too high. On the other hand, I don't want you taking a mickey out of my kind-heartedness. Huh? I could rent a room out. I'd never have to work again, would I? I'd never have to work again. I could just rent that room out and live on that. Did you hear that? Those of you that haven't been with the show for a while will not know that I now have a new clock in the studio. A beautiful wooden clock from F.W. Hines, the jewellers. Made by Seiko it is, and a chiming wooden clock in the background. If you want to have a look and see what it looks like, then simply go to the website, unitedkingdomradio.co.uk, and click the watch button. You can watch as well as listen to this show. That's, of course, if you're with us live. 16 minutes past 11. November the 2nd, 2010. Good morning to... Oh, hang on. David and Kat say... Kat says they are boxer shorts. Oh, boxer shorts, knickers, they're all the same thing, dear. So some of them ride up a little bit more, don't they? You know. What I can't stand is G-strings. I'm sorry. Just a total and complete waste of time. I don't have a G-string myself, but once I did think, I wonder what it would be like. But, of course, me, you know, don't like to waste money. I simply got a few bits of string and made my own G-string and wore it. And, you know, what for? I mean, what is the point of that? I then removed it and chucked it away. I should have recycled the string, really. Complete waste of time, G-strings. Charlie, who is David and Kat's little boy, he wants my electric train set. He's not having it, dear. I'm sorry, that's my electric train set. Besides, he won't want one. The little ones of today, they're not interested in electric train sets and wonderful scale electrics. They want to sit there in front of a computer screen for hours on end. My nephew's the same, Jimmy, 13. He sits there playing now, what's it called? Is it Medal of Honor? Whatever the game is, I know there's a new one coming out in November. And he's put a deposit on. So if you know what that is, do let us know, okay? My email address to the show is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Send in your email at any time, okay? chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. That's my email address. Charlie likes Thomas the Tank Engine. Yes, and I know what you are, aren't you, David? David is the fat controller. He would sit there while poor old Charlie is trying to get a look in, but he wouldn't let him, would he? David is his dad. He'd sit there with all the controls, not letting poor Charlie have a go at his Thomas the Tank Engine electric train set. It's a liberty, that's what it is. Mike, good morning, Mike, in Newcastle. Says, I've never known anyone to be so excited about fairies. I'm always excited about everything, Mike. Aren't you aware of that now? That there isn't a dull moment in my life. Don't you wish your life was better, was like mine? Eh? God, you must sit there looking in awe at this programme, thinking, oh, I wish I was like Chris Reardon. Is that what you think? Eh? Anyway, Mike says, I can just see you in a tutu, Chris. It's so unfair that it isn't allowed for adults. Well, it is. It is. Why can't we have these little fairy things for adults? But I don't know about wearing a tutu. I don't know if I should be wearing dresses. I think that's very wrong. Men in dresses, very, very strange, dear. Very, very strange. I mean, I work with enough of them. They are very, very strange creatures. Men in dresses. They are. We're not having any of that here, please. Please, it's a family programme. Mike says, I never grew up, I still play 80s music and relive my youth playing on my Commodore 64. Do you remember that? I can go one better than that, thank you very much, Mike Cullen. I had a Sinclair Spectrum 48K, complete with the rubber keyboard. Yeah, do you know, I wish I'd still had that. We've spoken about that before. I only had a couple of games with it. One of them was Attic Attack. And you had to load the games onto the computer with a cassette recorder, didn't you? Plug that bit into the cassette recorder and beep, and you could hear it, couldn't you? And you'd have to do it 3 or 4 times because it would never work the first time. A Sinclair Spectrum 48K. God, you could write programs for it, couldn't you, in BASIC? 10, go to line 2. 20, repeat flash 5. 30, say hi. All that business. Did you ever write programs in BASIC for your Commodore 64, Mike Cullen? Eh? Now, Mike Cullen, his show times have changed. He has been extended because he's a big boy. He has been extended to 2 hours, not today, on Thursday, between 8 and 11 p.m, Mike Cullen Show here on UnitedKingdomRadio.co.uk, and also late night Saturday between 9, is it 9? Yes, between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. Okay, Mike Cullen, 2 hours. Can we get enough of Mike Cullen? I don't think we can. We need more. Good morning to Zach in Orange, Australia, who says, good morning, I'm experiencing deja vu. Please confirm this is live. This programme is live if it's 21 minutes past 11 on November the 2nd, 2010. Yes, Zach. Has this moment happened before in your life then? Is this the second time that you see this is happening, Zach? Eh? Do let us know. The email address of the show, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. We also have Skype. If you're with us Skype, you can join us live. My Skype username is all one word, United Kingdom Radio. Okay, United Kingdom Radio. And there is a phone number as well. It's a local London number, 020 3287 1488. 020 3287 1488. So my question to you today, okay, is there something you did as a child that you wish you could do now as an adult but you can't? I don't mean that in a sort of disabled way, okay? You know, sort of if you were running about and then now perhaps you can't run or walk or anything. I don't mean it like that, you know. Is there something you can do? And you can't really do that now because of the way your age is. For example, you know, I mean, I could have dressed up as a little elf when I was little, couldn't I? And gone to these little kids' parties and had jelly and ice cream. Don't you want to go to a party with jelly and ice cream now? But no, you can't, can you? It's all alcohol and rows with other adults. Where has the fun gone out of your life? There must be something that you'd like to do again that you did as a child. But now it's a lot more difficult, perhaps because you're on your own. For example, for myself, camping. Okay, those of you that still camp and are sort of around my age, you would say, well, you can go camping. No, but it wouldn't be the same. Where are the scouts that I was with? You know, they're all married or this, that and the other. It would be completely different. I'd probably have to go on my own. Camping. Well, the companionship of those young friends around you, gone. Isn't it? What is there that you'd like to say? I'd love to go camping, go around the campfire at night, go for hikes in the 11 o'clock at night. We used to go for hikes with torches and get lost. Used to be scared out of my wits. We always used to get home in the end. Going in the tent on a wet night when it's pouring down with rain and just being in that tent and the smells of the fields and the grass and the trees around. Miss all that. Miss it big time. Love to do it again. Really would. Fag Ashley says, good morning, Chris. Good morning, Fag Ashley in the wonderful town of Hove. Posh there. Posh in Hove. Oh, yeah. I don't know how people like Fag Ashley can afford to live there, to be honest. She writes, good morning, Chris. It must be late for Zach, as I think their clocks changed at the weekend as well. Is that right, Zach? Have your clocks changed there? Dear me. I was on the phone to my son in Australia yesterday. Oh, where is he in Australia then, Fag Ashley? Whereabouts is your son? And the time difference has changed from 8.5 hours to 10.5. Is that right? So what time is it there now? 11, 12. Is it past? No, it's about 9:30 at night. What time is it where you are in near Sydney? I'm still a child and do plenty of childish things. Yeah, well, I think we all do. But we can't do them together, can we? We can't do them together. Oh, I've just closed a window. Have I closed the wrong window here? Adelaide. That's where Fagash Lil's son is. Adelaide. I've just closed someone's window. Sent me a message. Sorry. What's the time in Sydney now then, Zach? Do let us know. Okay. Righty ho. Oh, we've got a couple of emails that have been building up for a while there, because we haven't been doing emails for a while. So here we go. Good morning to Jennifer. Lovely, lovely Jennifer, who says, I'm listening to last Tuesday's show, and you were talking about breakfast show sampling. Yes, I thought it might be an idea to bring in various different breakfasts and sample them on the programme. Like my friend used to do, Danny, when we, Danny his name was, when we did a little FM station in London, a legal restricted service station in London, also going back about 15 years here. And he used to sample all these breakfasts. And then one day they decided to do a fried breakfast, and he plugged in the cooker and everything, and when he turned it on, it fused everything. All the electricity went off, and the station went off air. Jennifer says, you were supposed to sample out all the snacks that I sent you and let everyone know your thoughts. Well, I did have the snacks, but I forgot to let you know, didn't I, really? Sorry about that. They were very, very nice. That's a few months ago now. What were my favourite ones? I think my favourite little snacks that you sent were the chocolate-covered Rice Krispie things. They were very, very nice indeed. Jennifer says, I was going through one of my bins of books. Oh, she's got loads of books, Jennifer. Loads and loads, and she loves reading. I like reading, but it just takes me ages to read a book. I've got the Tony Blair book, and I think I'm up to page 96. And I've had that weeks. It takes me ages, especially now that the cat comes to bed with me. Oh yes, she sleeps right next to my face now. Now that the cat, she don't let me read. Like, I get into bed, when I come in from work at night, I open the kitchen door, she runs in, straight up the stairs, and gets her place on the bed. What I find myself doing now, and then I don't like to get undressed in front of her, isn't that funny? Honestly, I don't like to get undressed in front of the cat. So I wait till she's looking the other way. Then I quite quickly, because I sleep naked, boys and girls, I want you to put that thought in your minds. Me sleeping naked. And I wait till she's looking the other way, whether she's licking something, you know, she turns her head and starts licking it. Licking, doesn't she? I wait till she's turned around, and then I get undressed and I quickly get into bed. And I get into bed and she's usually in the centre of it. I'm like, come on, move over a bit. Talk to her like she's a person. Come on, move over a bit, Katie. Well, as soon as I pull that cover up, she's straight over, purring and nudging me with her nose. So I can't even get my book read now in bed, because she needs attention. We love our pets, don't we? Jennifer says, I was going through one of my bin of books and found a postcard of the Tower Bridge over there in London, which I have been to, and it is quite cool. Quite cool, dear. It's better than quite cool. You haven't got a bridge like that, have you, in America? I gather that once you thought you'd bought Tower Bridge, whereas in fact you had bought London Bridge. Do try and get it right next time. That's a very, very expensive mistake to make. Oh dear. You'd love Tower Bridge, wouldn't you? Over that river in Manhattan. You would love it. Eh? You'd love Tower Bridge, but you can't have it. It's all ours. Costs a fortune, that thing, to maintain. It's all lit up at night. I'd like to send it over to the boy with cancer here in the States. Can you read out his address again? Now, you may remember a long, long time ago, months and months ago, we did have a little boy, someone who wrote in, a little boy who's got a nasty cancer, and he's collecting postcards from all over the world, and would you send postcards in? Now, unfortunately, I have had a look for the address, but I don't have it anymore, and it was Gloria. Okay, it was actually a lady called Gloria who requested that we send these bits and pieces in. So hopefully, Gloria, if you're watching or listening to the show at some point, could you send us in the address again, because Jennifer wants to send the postcard of Tower Bridge. Alright, my darling, just send it in on the usual email address, Chris at, we'll keep that email there, Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Good morning to LaQuisha Jones is with us this morning. LaQuisha Jones from New York, cabaret artist that I work with every Sunday night, doing quiz shows and things like that, and giving away wonderful prizes like tins of baked beans and packets of rice. Oh yes, we've only got the best prizes. You see, the thing is, LaQuisha, I remember when you started this this game show, you were giving away things like iPods, and now it's like packets of rice or pot noodles. What happened, dear? What happened? Could it possibly be the restrictions of the money coming across the bar? I think it is. Good morning, LaQuisha. Is that Lazy Bones James up yet? That's her other half. James? He's like so lazy, does nothing. Lives with this woman, and he does nothing around the house at all. You want to send him on that programme, The World's Strictest Parents. That'd knock him into shape a little bit more, wouldn't it? Thank you very much. Good morning, LaQuisha. Let me see. Right, on to another email. This one is also from Jennifer. Now, what happened with Jennifer's emails? They got stuck somewhere in the system, so she sent like the emails that haven't got here over the last few weeks. So that's where there's a few from her. Jennifer says, "Have you stopped bleeding from your landscaping wound?" Yes, I have, and in fact, I don't think there's even a mark now on my hand. I have recovered very quickly. Let me see. Is it here? Nope, no damage anymore. I think I picked off the scab just a few days ago, and it's gone now. Do you pick off scabs? It's not good, really. Sometimes I bite them off. Do you like eating bits of your own skin? Do you ever do? Like, I eat the tops of my fingers. Anyone else do that? You know that? You know when you've just cut your nails, and it's quite nice to look, just eat a little bit of yourself. I do think I'm so good I could eat myself up. I really do. But, I quite fancy having a little bit of my back. I can't get my hand in there. Really. I can try. No, can't do it. Can't get my head round far enough. Cats could do it, can't they? Oh, is there someone ringing my phone? Let's have a look. Yes, there is. Could you hold a moment, please? Good morning. Good morning. You're interrupting my trans-global radio production. Yes. Oh, you'll be early. Well, you look as chavvy as you want. That's okay. And we'll be going out to a carvery. I'm much looking forward to that. Thank you. Goodbye. Sorry, boys and girls. That's my best friend Ron. He's coming over today. He's coming over to visit me. And we're going to the carvery. I don't know which one we're going to go to today. I think the one in Watford's a little bit too far, otherwise we could have met up with LaQuisha Jones and James. Well, James wouldn't have come because he's still in bed. He does, I'm telling you, he does nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Back to the email. Let's see. Jennifer says, "I have a handy household tip for you." Well, I hope it's a money-saving one. Such as how to jam the electricity meter. Can someone please tell me how to do that? Apparently you used to be able to do that with a matchstick. Is that right? I need to jam far too much electricity being used in this house. It really is. The next time you have a wound, when you've sliced open your skin and have a gusher, and there's a gusher. Wow, that's a gusher. No one's ever said that to me before. Perhaps it's Stop it. Perhaps it's an American expression, is it? A gusher. Gusher, gusher. Next time you have a gusher and there's no germ killer, not that this kills germs, but it coagulates the blood. Oh, it's horrible. Coagulating the blood. Oh, I don't like the sound of that. Try packing it with sugar. Oh my God, all that sugar will get into your blood. We'll all get diabetes, dear. Won't we? That's like directly putting sugar into your blood, surely. She says, not sugar substitute, but regular sugar. My friend Jana sliced her thumb wide open while we were opening bread for the cows one day. And believe me, it bled the whole time there on the way home until she got home and packed it with sugar. Anyone else know that? Has anyone else had a gusher recently? Hey, anyone else lost a finger or an arm? How did you stop it bleeding? Do let us know on the email. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Any medical tips, anything like that at all, we want to know about them. Okay? chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. One of my managers, Vicky is her name. Lovely. You love Vicky. You love Vicky. I love Vicky. She's one of the managers at Belushi's. Now, she was the manager at the branch in Hammersmith, where I work on Mondays and Saturdays. Incidentally, last night, of course, Monday, karaoke there. I do Monday between 9 and 1 AM. Very, very good night there yesterday. Some really, really good singers. I've got my favourites. Obviously, I cannot say who they are. For example, Silence. And there's a woman called Shirley and her friend Sheila. Wonderful, wonderful singers. Wonderful. And have you noticed, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to say this, all black people seem to be able to sing. What's all that about? The whiteys, like me, sort of run of the mill. But all the black people that come and sing for me on Monday night have wonderful voices. It's true. Especially Shirley. Oh, wow, what a voice. She has got such a wonderful... Maybe I could just take a little clip next time she's there and record it and play it to you. Would that be okay? Can we do karaoke clips? I think we can, actually. I'm not sure. I will have to check at that. She's wonderful, Shirley. Believe it or not, Jennifer says, 2 days later, when I saw her again, the wound had actually closed up. I was absolutely flabbergasted. That's a good word, isn't it? Flabbergasted. As at the healing process she initiated. Yes. So there we are. No more plasters required. Use sugar. Use sugar. Yes. As for the non-stop bleeding disease, that's the one I was... I couldn't remember what it was called. It is haemophilia. And from all the research I've done on my chickens, they have haemophilia. Chickens have haemophilia. Did you know this? If they get cut, they will bleed forever. Oh my God, chicken blood everywhere, dear. How awful. My cat would love it. I'm sure she would. Katie. Katie the cat. Thank God none of my girls has been injured. And now my poor alpha chicken, Peanut, is molting. And she just looks horrible. I think my head's been molting for a while because it's disappeared in the middle. She had 2 tail feathers out of about 12 left, and I accidentally pulled on it and it popped right out. Oh, you're not plucking your chickens while they're still alive, are you, Jennifer? That's awful, dear. It must be akin to burying someone alive, that. Plucking chickens while they're still alive. That should be illegal, you know. I think that should be illegal. The last one she had left, apparently it's so much that she reached her head all the way back and pulled the last one out. She sort of leaned forward and exposed the skin where the 2 feathers came out, and it was so gross. You want to meet my sister? That's gross. I tell you that. She wasn't bleeding, but it was more like concave hole a few millimetres deep. She lost her feathers on the underside, from her neck to her belly, past her legs and on her wings. That poor chicken. Poor, poor chicken. The new feathers are coming through. Well, I hope so. How long does it take for all the feathers to come back then, eh? They look like little straws, kind of like a stir straw for your coffee or tea, and a little speck of brown feather poking through the straw. It's actually quite amazing to see this growing process. Well, I always worry when I find a pile of feathers in the garden. Do you know what I mean? It's always very worrying when you find a pile, because it means the cat has been successful. And she'll be sitting in the corner, just cleaning herself. You know. I hope she doesn't kill too many chickens and birds before she gets into my bed. Or she doesn't get into the bed, she sleeps on top of it. The only thing is my cat has got a bit of a dribble. And I keep having to wash the duvet cover. You can see where she's, because you can see where she's been sleeping, because there'll be a little sort of dampness and a mark on the duvet cover, which comes out in the wash. Jennifer says, you know a funny thing about chickens and their molting. Being that I only have 3 and they are very much loved, and I'm sure they are, and I'm guessing they know it, is that I can certainly see a personality change in their behaviour when one molts. She says, I'm not kidding. I've noticed that Peanut, being the alpha chicken, she will be right up front waiting for you to come and open the door and to be let outside, and right there at your feet, if you have human food, she'll run off Pop-Tart and Dotty Wat, and that's her other chickens, incidentally, those of you that don't know. Well, while she goes through this molting period, she stands off to the side, slow and sluggish. Doesn't want much interaction with me or Dallas, that's her daughter, or more or less hides. So she hides. She hides from people when she's molting. My friend was telling me that I have to build up her self-esteem. Do you think it will work? I don't like seeing Peanut being all sad and reclusive, as she's being. Maybe a pep talk, or even, though she's going through her change, she's still pretty and very much loved. Yes, you've got to tell her this, you see, dear. It's like me, I am going through the change, boys and girls, and I do feel unpretty and unloved and unwanted as an elf or fairy. There's just nothing left. Nothing left. It's all downhill. What is there for me to look forward to in my sad, lonely, pathetic life, other than buying things like clocks for my wall? I did see, actually, talking of clocks, I did see in the Argos catalogue a rather nice grandfather clock, which actually was cheaper than the Seiko clock that I've got on the wall. I mean, I don't know what it sounds like, this is the thing. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with Argos stuff, but it's a bit, shall we say, cheap. I mean, it's not exactly, you know, it's not exactly going to be a family heirloom, is it? Having a clock from Argos. Although the one on the wall is very, very solid. It's actually quite heavy, that one on the wall. I put it on the wall myself, you know. Oh, yes. Yes, Mr. DIY. I have my electric screwdriver and a huge screw in the back that's gone right into the wall. It is very, very solid, that clock on the wall there. Jennifer says, I hope Millie is okay. She was really tearing up as she was discussing her nan. Yes, Millie, regular correspondent to the show, sadly lost her lovely nan a few weeks ago. I hope she made it through the Bible reading and stayed strong. But rest assured, her nana is in a better place and looking down on her. Please let Millie know she's in my thoughts. Isn't that nice? Thank you, Jennifer. You're a nice person. That's nice. You were also talking about the sensors on the electric slide doors. You know those doors that open like a bit on Star Trek? Electric slide doors. There is this one in the butcher's shop I go to here. Gino's Italian Meat Market. I must say that their meats are superior and the staff are most friendly and courteous. I prefer shopping there for my meats over our local grocery stores. It's just so much more a personal service. I just love going there. I don't know if you know this, but my nephew is a butcher, Gary. He's 25. He works in the butchers in Woodhall Spa in Lincolnshire, and that's a family butchers, and really good service in there, you know. I mean, You know, I'm sure the meat and that, there's nothing wrong with it in Sainsbury's or Asda or Walmart or whatever you go to. There's nothing wrong with it. And the staff are all right, you know. But you just don't, you don't feel like you get the personal service as you would do in perhaps a family butcher's or a family electric store, you know, something like that we used to have, didn't we? Used to have a family electric store, a family butcher's and a baker's and all this business. And it's not. It is absolutely not the same as going into your huge supermarket, is it? But I'm afraid those times are disappearing and gone. You know, these family businesses are closing down all over the place. People blame the supermarkets, but I mean, you're the ones that are doing the shopping there, aren't you? How can you blame them? You know, you say you want to keep your local this, that and the other, but they're not being supported. It's a shame, really, isn't it? It really is. It's such more personal, she says. Anyway, they have a slow sensor on their door walking out. I always up standing in front of the slide doors, waving my hand above the door to wake up the sensor. Oh, I do that. I do that in lots of places. And the funny thing is, a lot of them haven't got automatic doors, so people just think you're waving to yourself. They think I'm mad round here. I do notice when I walk through supermarkets, you know, gaps are made for me to walk down. People are not coming near me. Many times I have bumped into it and had to take several steps back. Well, do be careful, dear. I always remember one of the amusing things my ex-wife did before we were married, years and years ago. I'm going back here. God. About 29 years. And in her parents' house, they had, you know, the patio doors. And she had a bowl of water. I don't know what she had a bowl of water for. She was going outside and she walked straight into these doors. Have you ever done anything stupid like that? Eh? Well, it's not stupid, or had an accident like that? Possibly. Good morning, Holly in Charlotte, North Carolina. Bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong. She loves the clock behind me. I'm sure you do, darling. I love the clock behind me. Worth every penny, let me tell you that. I love my clock. Jennifer goes on to say, I wonder if you have this over in England yet. In our freezer departments, in our local grocery stores and large chain department stores that carry groceries, are installing sensors on the outside of the freezer doors so that when you walk down the aisle, it turns on the lights in the case as you walk by a couple of doors and then they turn off again. It's all very smart, but I really wonder, does it save any money? Well, I would think so. If the lights aren't on all the time, it doesn't cost anything. There's like no surge, you know. I don't think normal lights use more electricity simply for the fact you've turned them on. I'm pretty convinced that's a bit of a myth, actually. That lights need a lot more energy to turn on. I think you just turn them on and they use electricity, and you turn them off and they stop. So I would think it must save money, but I haven't actually seen these yet. No, what a good idea though. Some of the councils here in the UK have started turning off some of the street lamps at night, which I think is probably a good idea. People are saying, oh, but you'll get more accidents now and all that. Not if you're careful. I think a lot of accidents are caused by stupid people and the way they drive or walk across roads. I mean, God, how many times have you been driving around and some idiot pedestrian just steps out, thinking that they actually own the road? On the other hand, some of the drivers are just as bad. Cyclists who go through red lights are just ridiculous. I mean, do they actually just want to die? I sometimes wonder. So, no, I haven't seen those automatic lights coming on down the supermarket. Good idea, though. And she says, on the subject of buffets at weddings, which we were talking about recently, because we do like a buffet. Oh, yes. We do like a buffet. Don't be doing the posh stuff, okay? All we want is sausage rolls, crisps, vol-au-vents, ham sandwiches, cheese and tomato sandwiches, ham, cheese and pickle sandwiches, and the big bowl of coleslaw. And of course, cakes. Oh yes, you've got to have cakes at a buffet, dear. You know, Victoria sponge with cream. Oh God. Chocolate eclairs. I wonder what we're going to have today when my mate Ron arrives. Probably, well, we're going to have a carvery. Trouble is, we usually end up going to the supermarket on the way back and getting some chocolate eclairs for the journey. 4 each. By the way, my weight has gone up again, I'm afraid. I'm 13 stone 3 again. I did manage to actually get down to 12 stone 10. But then I started on the crisps and chocolate again. I'm sorry to disappoint you. I think we must try and lose a bit again before Christmas. We will. And of course my holiday in January, yes. Buffets or sit-downs at weddings, which do you prefer? Absolutely the buffet. I find sit-down meals at weddings a little bit too, I don't know what the word is now, a little bit too serious? Formal, that's it. A bit too, believe me, I'm not formal. I am not formal. But I do actually prefer the buffet at a wedding, absolutely. A buffet for my first marriage. God, she's been married so many times, Jennifer. She collects houses, did you know that? Oh yes. Hundreds of them all over the place. Jennifer collects houses, don't you, my love? Eh? They try it with me over the years. They've tried it with me. I spot them coming a mile off. Gold diggers. Absolutely, Jennifer. I spot them coming. They're the sort that come over to you in the bar. So you're going to buy me a drink then? Worst thing you could say to me. Perhaps that's why I'm on my own. You're going to buy me... I've heard them. You're going to buy me a drink then? You see, I've seen it done so many times. You're going to buy me a drink then? And someone buys me a... Thanks a lot. And they walk off. No, you're not going to catch me out like that one, my dear. So how many places have you got, Jennifer? You must have hundreds of houses all up and down America, have you? God's sake, dear. She says, a buffet for my first marriage and a sit-down for my second. I must say, I enjoyed the second much better. You prefer the sit-down meal, do you? Okay. I didn't have the chance to stuff myself and leaving room for too many more drinks. When should we arrange for Dallas and Jimmy's wedding? Yes, Dallas is Jennifer's daughter, who is 12, and Jimmy is my nephew, who's 13, and I'm trying to do a bit of matchmaking here. Like to seal the special relationship between the United Kingdom and the United States of America. We may incidentally need to be borrowing some of your ships and warplanes soon, because they've cut all ours. We've had so many cutbacks here in our armed forces, it's unbelievable. And we wouldn't be able to stop an invasion from the Vikings anymore. The Vikings, the Vikings, la 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 la. If the Vikings come over, we have had it, dear. We have had it. Or the Spanish Armada, with those little old ships, dear. They would come coming across the English Channel, dear. And we'd have it. We couldn't, but we've got no warships left. We've got two paddle boats. That's it. David Cameron and Nick Clegg, they've got rid of all our armed forces. All we have now is rowing boats. We've got 2 small rowing boats, and we can only fit 2 sailors in each one. We've only got 4 sailors here now in the United Kingdom. That's all we've got left. 4 sailors. Don't even ask about the Air Force. You know. I mean, have you ever seen a man from the RAF coming across to attack Germany in a hang glider? All we've got is 1 hang glider. That's it. The RAF has been reduced to 1 hang glider. And the Royal Navy to 2 rowing boats. That's all we've got. Submarines, did you say? Well, I mean, you can call them submarines. You know those big metal hats that they used to have the divers to go down? Well, that is now basically the submarine. There's a bloke, he gets down in the water and starts walking across the seabed. That is our submarine. 1 hang glider, 2 rowing boats, and a bloke with a big metal hat. That is our entire armed forces now here in the UK. When David Cameron, if he ever does have to push the nuclear button, there's nothing attached to the other end. It's all gone. Nothing left. We've sent them all away. Anyway, Dallas and Jimmy's wedding. Yes, we must arrange a meeting for those two at some point. I think it is a marriage made in heaven. And I, of course, will play the organ for the wedding. I think we'll have something like this. Just a moment, please. Let me find something for you. Now, where are we? Oh, I can't find that now. Just a minute. Is that one there? There we are. Well, I can imagine now. Dallas will be standing at the front of the church, and Jimmy will walk up, and together, after the wedding, they will walk back out to this, me playing on the organ. Oh yes, the wedding of Dallas and Jimmy, sealing the special relationship between the US and the UK. Yes, I am looking forward to this event. Now, the thing is, what with the food, Jennifer, I'm not sure that we'd be able to do all the food over here. Could you do the cheese and tomato sandwiches and bring them over with you? Is that possible? Although I don't know, would you want to get married in America, or is Dallas coming here to marry Jimmy in the UK? Because we've got some very nice old churches here, dear. I know your churches are nice in America, but they're a bit modern, aren't they? A bit modern. We've got some lovely old churches. And why not have Westminster Cathedral, lovey? Yes. Why stop at a church when you can have a cathedral? In fact, why don't you leave it with me? I'll have a word with Benedict, our Pope, later on, and see if we can be done at St. Peter's Church in Rome. At the Vatican, yes, with the Pope actually doing it. I mean, I don't know what his organ's like, to be honest, the Pope. The organ in the St. Peter's Church. I wonder what that one's like there. Do you think he'll let me have a go, lovey? Hello. Hello, Benedict. Yes, there's only Chris. Yes. St. Joseph's, Roehampton. Nice little place. Yes, I play there on Sunday mornings at 11 o'clock. Could I have a go of your organ? Thank you very much. Oh, I bet that's a noisy old thing, isn't it? That one there. Oh, we'd like to be playing the church organ in the Vatican, yes. Jennifer says, if we do the buffet, we can have your much-desired sausage rolls. Yes. I love cheese, so we will have to have something I can sprinkle cheese over. Oh, all you Americans are the... Why do you have to have cheese over everything? You must sprinkle cheese over everything in America, mustn't you? What is all that about, eh? And ice cream, of course, that's for Dallas. That will have to accompany the cake. What's Jimmy's favourite? Oh, I don't know. I will have to find out. I hope he likes macaroni and cheese and muffins, because that's all she really makes without screwing up. While I'm off, I have lunch in the microwave. Oh, how the best we live. Sausage with a quarter pound of Parmesan cheese to sprinkle over it from Jennifer. See? Cheese on everything these Americans have. Dear, dear me. Okay, we're nearly out of time actually, aren't we? Email here coming from young Craig. Hello, Craig. Craig Adams. Who writes, it's just coming in now. Just been listening to your show today. Once again, excellent. Before I go and visit my grandma over at Coventry, she has to go to a special clinic in Willenhall, Warwickshire this week. Her leg is very swollen, blood supply isn't getting down to her leg. Oh, and there's a nasty big ulcer on it. She had a stroke about 4 years ago, and she now struggles to cope day to day in her house over at Coventry. She has had her 89th birthday. Well, you didn't tell me, did you? We could have sung happy birthday to her on October the 26th. So, happy birthday, Grandma... Oh, you don't say her name. Grandma Craig, we'll call her. Grandma Adams. Well, it might be your other side of the family, mightn't it? Yeah. 89. Wow. I do hope I get to 89. I'm intending to get to about 8,057, to be honest. We're waiting for more medical things to come along. I do my best for... I mean, I may have my head frozen. What do you think? And I could be unfrozen at various intervals and just do a 2-hour special and then be frozen again. I mean, this show could exist for years and years and years. There's already over 5 years of me talking. You want to play them back to back sometime. See how many times I repeat myself. Craig says, I do my best for her, along with my dad, her son, 2 to 3 times a week. We take dinners over, fruit and cakes, and other items which she needs. We're liking the idea of fruit and cakes, to be honest. I am liking the idea of fruit and cakes. Let's see. I hoover and clean up for her in the house, and she really is grateful for everything we do for her. She does have care people, but they're not much help. So take care, Chris. All the best from Craig Adams in Hinckley in Leicestershire. Thank you, Craig. Lovely to hear from you. You keep looking after your nan, all right? That's it for me today. Lee Mills is coming up for me after the 12 o'clock news on the watch button only. UnitedKingdomRadio.co.uk on the watch button. Do join in for the next show on email, chris@UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. I'll see you Thursday morning live at 11 o'clock UK time, UnitedKingdomRadio.co.uk. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye now.